Human trafficking and the prostitution of children is a significant issue in the Philippines, often controlled by organized crime syndicates. The Coalition Against Trafficking in Women Asia Pacific, or CATWAP, quoting from Kyodo News, estimated that in 1998 there were 400,000 prostituted women in the Philippines. Women and children involved in prostitution are vulnerable to rape, murder, AIDS, and other sexually transmitted diseases. The Philippines is the fourth country with the most number of prostituted children. There are estimated to be 375,000 women and girls in the sex trade in the Philippines, mostly between the ages of 15 and 20 and as young as 8 years old. Those children who are kept in brothels die quite young. They die in many cases before they have a chance to live. They die from AIDS, from drugs, and from committing suicide. The high and steadily increasing number of women and children victims of trafficking and prostitution, coupled with the findings that prostitution is a very alienating and exploitative form of labor, which exposes women and children to high levels of physical and psychological vulnerability, make this project a compelling one. Because of this, a new congregation was born in 1996, the Mary Queen of Heaven Missionaries. MQHM is a local congregation in the Archdiocese of Cebu, Philippines, established by His Eminence Ricardo J. Cardinal Vidal with Sister Maria Corazon J. Salazar as mother foundress. We call our mission the fight of prostitution vis-a-vis the fights on poverty. MQHM mission is to fight prostitution in a non-violent way through perfect love and charity. We rescue women and children victims of prostitution ages 8 and above. We shelter them and rehabilitate these poor souls in our home of love in order to be given an opportunity to live a decent life wherein Jesus and Mary be the center of their lives. Prostitution is prevalent in our country, most especially in Metro Manila and Pampanga. These victims of prostitution are recruited directly from their hometown, especially the rural areas. Promise to be given a good job here in the city, but instead land in a life as a slave of sex. These children, victims of greediness of men, are being sexually used and abused 5 times a night. Their parents waiting for them at dawn for their night pay at 100 pesos per sexual encounter, equivalent to a little more than £1 or $2. The Sisters of the Mary Queen of Heaven Missionaries become their listening ear, a shoulder to cry on in all these miseries they encounter on a day-to-day living. They cry in anguish of who they are and what they are in great distress and deeper grief. Totally numb to their daily traumas, but they have to survive. With little children to feed born out of wedlock, members of their families dependent on their income, nowhere to go. For what they believe on is that there is no way out. But there is hope in God. God established His plan to fight prostitution in a non-violent way through perfect love and charity. Our surveys indicate that in the Philippines, poverty is the root cause of prostitution. We consider it a cancer in our society. For the meantime, while waiting for funding on this big project, we converted our formation house into a small-scale shelter good for 50 women and children in Tuburan, Cebu. To carry on the fights on prostitution, we established the following programs: temporary shelter, basic healthcare, food and nutrition, maternity and medical assistance, psychological therapy and counseling, recreational activities, spiritual formation, Educational Assistance Program, livelihood and skills training in areas such as baking, sewing, cooking and catering, candle making, and the like. Childcare. MQHM realizes that prostituted women become commercial sex workers to support families and children. MQHM provides childcare support services for prostituted women who have children who need to be with their mothers while they are undergoing rehabilitation.
Pag higugma sa akong si katao, dili ko nakakatlanan ng mga kanang mayo ang pamatasan. Kibali na sa migitudluan sa kanang simple na simpleng kanang pamumuhay.
The MQHM established the Feeding of the Good Shepherd Foundation, an arm of the MQHM to fight poverty. Its mission: to uplift the dignity of human lives through the provision of the basic necessities of the poorest of the poor in the rural areas through the following programs: food assistance through feeding, education assistance program, livelihood assistance, spiritual and family development, vocational courses, job placement, medical assistance. Extreme poverty is prevalent in all 3 barangays. Most houses are dilapidated and no longer livable. Families need food assistance first and foremost, and other basic necessities like clothing and water. Only few houses have electricity because of the high cost of installations and cost of electricity. There is a need for toilet. Only 36% of the 3 barangays has toilets. These poor families could hardly buy school supplies like pencil, ballpens, notebook, and others. At present, the foundation is giving educational assistance to approximately 700 elementary students and 205 high school students. Surely, fighting prostitution vis-a-vis poverty now becomes a reality, as we are now making a difference in the people's lives. Saving these children from future harm is preventing prostitution from proliferating. We challenge each and everyone to help us battle prostitution vis-a-vis poverty by being one with us in our programs. We are looking for sponsors for all these poor students in the mountains who can't afford to go to school. All your help will enable each and everyone to be one with us in fighting prostitution vis-a-vis poverty through perfect love and charity. Save a soul and gain a new life.
The Mary Queen of Heaven Missionaries in UHM, a religious community established in the Diocese of Cebu, Philippines in the year 2003 with the vision of bringing back the wayward to his fold to the sisters' expression of the loving compassion of Jesus. They work for the evangelization and salvation of the outcasts of society, particularly the victims of prostitution. With Mary, they seek these stray and fallen away, lift them up and shelter them in God's loving care. Hence, they established the Mary Queen of the Heaven Missionaries Rehabilitation and Livelihood Training Center to cater to the healing and spiritual formation of these women, as well as provide them education and livelihood training. I'm very happy to help them and welcome them in their Diocese of Cebu. Amen.